Hello, this is Mayor Tishaura Jones. I use the she, her pronouns. And welcome to our first live stream from the mayor's office. It's been a busy first week in our office, so we have a whole host of updates to share with you. And I'm so glad that you could join us today. So first, we're going to give you an update on COVID-19. Our current cumulative case count for the city of St. Louis is 21,585. Our daily case count and percent positivity has been slowly trending upward in April. On April 5th, the 7-day average for cases was 21, and now it's up to 32 as of April 23rd. Vaccines appear to be playing a part in transmission dynamics. And currently, adults ages 70 plus only make up about 5% of new cases. Ages 0 to 19 represent roughly 30% of new cases, and 20 to 39 another 30 to 35%. As we come up on summer break, parents need to protect their children through COVID-19 safety measures, including wearing a mask, social distancing, and good hand hygiene. If you haven't received a COVID-19 vaccine, visit the Dome downtown, 8 to 6 p.m., 7 days a week. It's no cost, it's free, no IDs required, and no appointments required, so walk-ins are welcome. The vaccine is effective, but it's not a cure-all. Vaccine recipients still need to follow safety measures like wearing a mask, social distancing, and good hygiene as the community works towards herd immunity. I got my vaccine, so you get yours. A couple of days ago, I visited our state capitol with our new treasurer, Adam Lane, to meet with Governor Parson, Lieutenant Governor Kehoe, and other state officials in the House and the Senate. As a former member of the Missouri House of Representatives, it was good to see some of my former colleagues. I was excited to hear that the governor and I are in alignment on several important priorities that will help St. Louisans thrive, like workforce development, infrastructure, and early childhood education. I want to thank State Senator Carla May and State Representative Rasheen Aldridge for their wonderful hospitality during my visit. And I look forward to working with them and welcoming the Senate and House leaders this summer after session's over so we can get to know each other a lot better. Last Saturday, I visited both the City Justice Center and Medium Security Institution or the Workhouse. I witnessed conditions that were way below standards for any human to be held in. As far as COVID-19 protocols, detainees only get 2 masks a week. Testing was inconsistent, and when they asked for it, and those who were negative were still kept in cells with those who tested positive. They had substandard food, lack of running water, and other things. Some didn't have functioning toilets. If the water was running, they said it was mold and mildew coming out of the faucet. It was unclean and unsanitary, and we talked to detainees in both locations. They feared retaliation for speaking up, and detainees we spoke to in both locations mentioned being bear maced. Some we talked to were still in the clothes that they were maced in. Complaints were filed inconsistently. Some were simply thrown out without proper documentation. And it's very important to remember the majority of the detainees have not been convicted of a crime. They are not criminals. They deserve a fair and speedy trial as guaranteed by the Constitution. And we want to make sure they get their day in court and not left in such deplorable conditions. Also, yesterday, I signed my first executive order. It requires the Police Department Internal Affairs Division to use a joint forum with the Civilian Oversight Board about officer conduct. The Police Department avoids accountability by using an old form internally, not the creation of this new one. We believe more accountability and stronger oversight of officer conduct with more info going to the Civilian Oversight Board. This also requires the CJC to submit complaints to detainees from the mayor's office and the Department of Public Safety dating far back as 2017. Also, we introduced our first budget, roughly $7.8 million in the savings from the closure of the workhouse. Approximately $4 million went to balance the city's budget, and $2 million was kept in the budget for medical services and meals for detainees. Approximately $1.8 million went towards my priorities, $1.3 million towards a division of supportive reentry, which helps support social workers, case management, and mental health services, child care, and other wraparound services. $0.3 million for doubling the Civilian Oversight Board budget to increase the capacity of correctional investigators looking into acts of retaliation and neglect from within city jails. $0.15 million for community visioning and planning around the improvements to the workhouse, the municipal courts, and St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department headquarters. This morning, we also put an amendment forward to take $4 million from police staffing from the budget and this was allocated from positions that haven't been filled for over a decade. Let's be clear, no officers will lose their jobs from this budget amendment, and there's no hiring freeze. The budget still leaves about 50 positions open, and $1.5 million will be allocated to the Affordable Housing Trust Fund, $1 million towards victim support services, including supporting funeral expenses, medical needs, child care, mental health support, case and crisis management, as well as trauma-informed support. $1 million towards increasing the capacity of the Department of Health and Human Services to support our unhoused, $500,000 towards affirmative litigation in the City Councilor's office to provide legal support to the Civil Rights Enforcement Agency. That's a mouthful. So coming up this Saturday, May 1st, at 3 o'clock will be our first meeting of our Stimulus Advisory Board, and Zoom info will be published for this meeting real soon. We are still accepting applications for jobs with my administration, so visit Tishaura4mayor.com/jobs. We're still in transition, but look forward to opportunities for city employees and residents to visit during open office hours, so keep a lookout for more information in the coming weeks. That's all I have for now, and I think we have a few questions.
Absolutely. So, Mayor Jones, what is next for you? What's next on the horizon?
Oh, what's next on the horizon? We never know what the next week is going to bring. We're going to continue our transition, continue hiring and interviewing people. We have a visit from the EPA coming up soon to visit our water treatment plants. We will continue towards trying to fill our agenda. The Board of Aldermen is going to be coming back soon, so the budget's going to go to the full board. And that's just a few of the things that we have planned next week.
Andrew wants to know, will we still be able to pay the same amount of overtime and fill the needed positions in the police department?
So Andrew wants to know about overtime. No overtime was touched. These were simply vacant positions that have gone vacant for almost 2 decades. And if you look at the number of officers that we've hired or had hired in the St. Louis Police Department, they've actually decreased for about 200 since the year 2000. So this shouldn't affect overtime, but also we're going to put in some more measures to try to manage overtime better.
Great. So there's a lot of concern about the crime on Highway 70. Can you speak to that?
Yes, so our current Public Safety Director, Dan Isom, has been working with State Highway Patrol to try to combine our efforts there with patrolling our highways. So look for more information from that next week.
You mentioned the 50 open positions for police officers still in the budget. Are those exclusively for police?
Yes, those open positions are exclusively for police, and we also have to take into account there are about 40 plus cadets right now in our cadet academy.
Great. And then in what new ways can the mayor's office help advance the cause of regionalism and to see see our shared fate as a region reflected in our governance structures? Woo, that's a mouthful.
That's a great question about regionalism. So I've already had a chance to meet with Greater STL, which is the new economic development arm of the city of St. Louis, as well as I stay in close contact with the RBC and other business leaders. But also, I have constant conversations with Sam Page and Wesley Bell and other regional leaders to the west and to the east. It's important to make sure that we stay in close contact so we can usher in a new spirit of collaboration and cooperation. And also, look, next week we will be announcing new health orders, and we're trying to make sure that St. Louis's health orders are aligned with St. Louis counties.
And can you speak to the status of the ADA transition plan?
I cannot speak to the status of the ADA transition plan because I don't have information on that, but we will do some research and get back to you.
Great. And then talk a little bit more about your economic development plans, not just here, but more regionally.
So regional economic development is something that we haven't yet had a chance to get on because, again, we've only been here 9 days. But right now we're about to hire the new executive director of SLDC. That recruitment process is continuing. They are narrowing down their top candidates, and we'll be interviewing those candidates, and hopefully we'll make a selection and announcement soon of who's going to lead the SLDC into the future. And hopefully it'll be someone that also sees that we are one region, and we'll make sure that we're aligning our efforts for regional economic development, not just for the city of St. Louis.
And then lastly, what is your plan to help with the unhoused?
So as announced in the budget, we shifted some of the funds from the $4 million we took from the police department to help our unhoused, and put that money, I think about $1 million, into the Department of Health and Human Services. So now they'll have more money to help our unhoused and coordinate efforts, hopefully with the continuum of care, which currently helps our unhoused.
All right, that's it.
Great. So we will try to do this about once every 2 weeks or so, but we will make plenty of announcements so you can tune in the next time. And thank you again for joining us. Take care and God bless.